All right. Today's the day I try to get this old nemesis on video. Twin 6K with barrels. It's the first black belt lock I ever bought. I just never had any luck getting it open until very recently. And so what I found out, I tried picking it counterclockwise and none of these pins will bind. And I was like, well, what about the sidebar? But none of the sidebar pins were binding, except I must have overlooked the one in the very back there. And so once you start setting those, then the rest of the lock will bind. I may have to try this a couple times to get it to cooperate, but already a couple pins are binding in the main stack that weren't before, and that's just with setting one finger pin. So I'm gonna work on these barrels just a little bit. Try to get more finger pins to bind and then set. Oh, look at that. And so these do best if worked from back to front on this lock. Make sure I got everything. Gate testing now before I start setting these first 3 pins. Make sure I'm in the right spot. Might lose some barrels, but that's okay. Don't think I overset those. It's been a minute since I worked on this lock. But if I did that right, then I may have to come back and make sure finger pins are where they need to be. I don't know, we'll see. Should start feeling clicks into the, nope, there we go, into the milling. That's a good sign. Did this right. Something's hung up good there. There we go. Now I'm just doing standard operating procedure for picking barrels, just carefully clicking up through the counter milling. Hear a bunch of stuff dropping. This isn't good. That's better. Let's see here. I mean, the first video attempt is not often successful, but giving it my all here. I think that was it. Right. All right, we're bound up real hard up front here now. If anything dropped in the back. Oh yeah, here we go, I think. No, yep, there we go. The lock is open. So yeah, that was the first black belt lock I ever bought. Monster, you know, milestone. Everyone talks about doing the twin 6K for their black belt lock. And it's my third. It's the first one I bought, third one I got on video. Because this one is hard. So let me zoom out. And get this on the tray here. Yeah, stay in frame. And move the vise out of the way. And start gutting. Gutted this lock countless times. So many times. Progressive pinning it and all that. About to get it done. Alright, so let's lock it back up. And like I said, I've taken this lock apart so many times that the gut section should go pretty smooth, even though I'm still really excited about getting this on video. So we know what's going on in here. 6 pins in the main stack with barrels. The sidebar with the heavily serrated finger pins. But we'll take it apart and show all the magic. And I'm going to put my finger on the sidebar so it does not pop loose. There it is. There's the sidebar. There's my tweezers. Take this out. And get the springs. Oh, yeah, the core is still in frame. Good. I was like, ooh, I hope I didn't set that too far out there. Okay, there's the sidebar springs. And unlike some sidebars, this one's got the notches on varying positions, and the true gates and the sidebar are all the same. Sorry, I've always got dirty hands when I'm shooting. I work construction and I wash them, but today I was doing rigid vinyl paneling and that glue's really sticky. But I digress. There's the sidebar. You can see the bitting. And there is the finger pins inside, all lined up corresponding to the protrusions, broachings, whatever on the sidebar. So I think that's all ready to go. Let's take these pins out and look at the counter milling. Why did 6 end up way over here? There we go. Okay, there are the key pins. Now let's take a look at this milling. So I picked counterclockwise, so we're going to look at the milling on this side. Every single chamber is milled. I've heard that some of them, they have one chamber with no milling. My gin version has one cylinder with no milling, and it's a pain because it gives a ton of counter rotation, drops a bunch of pins. I'm still working on that gin cylinder. Come on, focus. Okay. Yep, so there's the counter milling from picking this direction. It's pretty, it bites pretty hard. But I think barrels are fun to pick, personally. So speaking of which, let's get a look at them barrels. And I'm going to take it out from this way because of the way the loader's oriented. There is 6. And it is a long barrel for a short key pin. Now, this lock was heavily used, and I tried to flip everything around so the less worn components were in the side I was picking. If you can see, you know, the side that I flipped down is really worn, and the side that I have facing up is less so. And all that wear on the core is from before my time, too. Oh, sorry about that. I ordered another one that looks like it's much newer and less worn. So that will be fun to compare picking. And I also have a newer version of this lock. I'm just shaking these springs out here. How many do I still need to get? 5 and 6, it looks like. Let me pull these last 2 springs out. Maybe snagged. Let's just get those out from the Bible cover. Yeah, so anyway, I've got a newer version of this lock in a key and knob, actually like a padlock type housing. And man, it seems like it wouldn't be much harder to pick, but it's got this gnarly undercut right in there. And even with a 15 thousandths pick, you know, it kind of bends it. I don't know if you can see that. So this one's going to be a really challenge. This warding here, that little undercut right there makes it much more complicated. So we'll see if I manage to get that one open. Anyway, oops, let me put these springs where they need to be. And then let's get a close-up of the pins. So you can see there's 3 different lengths. Oh, man. Oh, wow. I'm getting way ahead of myself. Sorry about that. We'll talk about the barrels a little more, and then I'll take the finger pins out. But yeah, like I was saying, 3 different lengths of barrels, maybe 4. So it looks like maybe this one should even be shorter for pin 1 here, but I don't know. This is a refurbished lock. There might be a little bit of variation in the spring tension on that, but I got it from a very reputable seller. So hopefully this one is accepted. But yeah, I'm going to be interested to play with some more of these. Anyway, let's drop out these finger pins real quick. And get a whole look at everything. Whoa, that one really shot out of there and landed right where it was supposed to. Call that a win. And there we go. All right, there's the finger pins. Here's the side of the core. Let me kind of face the counter milling that I picked up there like that. Arrange these just a little more pretty like, and let's get our close up. Throw the housing on there for good measure. And there we go. 6 barrel drivers, 5 finger pins on the sidebar, matched counter milling on the barrel drivers. It is the ASSA Twin 6K, the milestone iconic black belt lock, picked and gutted for your viewing pleasure. Y'all have a wonderful evening, and I'll see you soon on the gin version.